Members of Parliament have been called upon to support Uganda Broadcasting Corporation adequately so that it can effectively perform its duties. UBC has since its inception in 2007 decried of poor funding, with the corporation leadership and the mother ministry always lobbying Parliament and government to increase funds allocated to the national broadcaster. The Appropriation Act gives Parliament powers to decide which agency of government, ministry, department and local government will receive which amount of money each financial year. The Vice Chairperson of the ICT Committee of Parliament and also Ginger South legislator Nathan Nabetta says UBC should be looked at positively, saying public broadcasters worldwide are funded 100% by their governments.
This is maybe one of the issues we need to look at in terms of mindset change. But just to ourselves, what is the relevance of UBC? Because some of us may look at the UBC as a liability. But in actuality, I mean, for example, let's take an example of BBC, of UK. BBC exists, whether it's a Labour government, Conservative government, it doesn't matter who comes in together. BBC continues. BBC gets money from a license fee. Everyone who watches the TV in the UK pays a license fee. That is the funding that goes to BBC. We need to look at, and that's why BBC doesn't go into advertising, doesn't go into, like Vision does. Like Vision, and no, the UBC is because we have not funded it. So they are trying to go into a sector, they are trying to go into advertising, which they shouldn't. So one of the things we're saying is that we need to fundamentally actually understand what role is UBC supposed to play and how can UBC be financed so they don't go into these issues of competing for Coca-Cola adverts.
The ICT committee, while presenting to the Budget Committee the National Budget Framework Paper for the Digital Transformation Program financial year 2023-24, 2027-28, that consists of votes for Ministry of Information, Communication Technology, National Information Technology Authority Uganda, and non-vote agencies that include UCC, UBC, Uganda Posts Limited, UICT, Media Center, Media Council, and Vision Group, further recommended that government allocate 66.6 billion to UBC to expand the digital transformation program, 13.47 billion for the public sector transformation, and 6.523 billion for enhancement of the wage bill. The budget framework paper also indicates that UBC for the last 2 financial years, including current financial year 2022-2023, has areas of 87 billion shillings accruing from legal compensation claims, staff gratuity, NSSF, URA, Umeme, UCC, satellite services, National Water, NITAU, and KCCA.
Is that when they created it in 2004, remember it was UTV. When they created it in 2004, it acquired all the problems, all the areas. Most of the things, actually, the areas and all the issues you see most of here are from the UTV side, from the UTV days. They've never given UBC money. The 20 billion they allocated only once, but only 12 was released. Even the 20 billion, and it was staggered to a level that they were never able to do what they originally wanted to do. So there is no loan, nothing has ever been approved for UBC to be able to help them to remove all the areas.
Some legislators say UBC needs to be supported to get a vote code since it has several challenges, yet it is a national broadcaster for government communication and national guidance. While others say UBC is a parastatal whose management is an executive decision.
It provides a public good for which we cannot expect it to recoup all its operational costs and investments from its levies. In the BBC, for example, is funded through taxes where you pay license fees. If we could give UBC the opportunity to raise revenue through license fees, then we would not have to create a vote.
But when my brother, Honorable Semujo, comes to government and he decides that he does not need the UBC to propagate government policies to the citizens, then he can shut it down. But in the meantime, if it is a government choice that UBC, New Vision, and any other radio stations under UBC continue to function, then as Parliament, we should fund it.
Nathan Nabetta urged legislators to support UBC to stay alive since it has assets it can use to revamp and also expand to ensure every region has access to television.
And of course they have assets. They have assets. So we have also engaged the ministry. They can use some of the assets to be able to revamp. So those are some of the issues you're looking at. But the issue of now what we're talking about in terms of expanding terrestrial television, you know, UBC carries all the televisions most of the members here use. So they want to expand the network so that every region has the TV. Now that one can come from the budget support. It doesn't have to come from somewhere else. Yeah.
Nabetta expressed concern why Parliament appropriates money and Ministry of Finance does not release the funds. The Deputy Chairperson of the Budget Committee of Parliament, Wamakuyu Ignatius Mudimi, said they are to put the responses in a report which will be forwarded to government.
Report to government and if there are any possibility, but we could see how to support UBC. So with that here, thanks very much for the presentation.
I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwitabenji.